What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about a new batch of level limit breaks that's arriving here May 11th, 1900 PST time, the exact start time of the anniversary Sugo Fest with Luffy and Yamato. And this is really awesome that they're doing this, because we saw, with the 5+ Luffy getting the level limit break as well. The free Jinbei that we also got also received level limit break through the tutorial of the Pirate King Adventures game mode, and now they're finally giving us level limit breaks for the rest of the 5-star size Straw Hats. Now, unfortunately, they're not receiving super evolutions, which I think would have been a really nice touch for them to do that. Maybe they will in the future, but as for now, these characters will be receiving some level limit break stuff, which is so good. I'm really excited to talk to all of you guys about how good all of these characters are. As we all know, when these characters first came out, they were okay, but I think what they've done now, these are actually usable characters that people probably want to use on their teams to actually clear content with, which is pretty crazy to say. These units are so good. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's start off with Roronoa Zoro with level limit break, and we can see that when you do go ahead and level limit break him, it is the special only that gets buffed. You do see that the Rumble ability and the Rumble special will also increase, but it's mainly just the crewmate abilities and the specials of these units that will be altered. So with Zoro's special, 60 times his attack in non-type damage to all enemies, and now it ignores all defensive effects. Actually, I don't know if that actually did that before. It did ignore defensive effects, but it's just more damage. He also will give your Psy characters a 2.25 times orb boost for 3 turns. And then he says, if Monkey D. Luffy is in the crew or is set as a support character on this unit, then he reduces defense up and damage threshold by 5 turns. So that's a huge difference when you look at the base special where it was just damage and a 1.75 orb boost for 3 turns. Massive upgrade, and all these Straw Hats have this weird condition where you need to have Luffy on the crew or set as a support unit on the unit itself, which is not really that bad at all. This is a very fine condition, honestly, and it just makes this unit just so much more viable. And as I said, this can be used in a lot of scenarios now to get a really good orb boost, but also the ability to get the defense up and the threshold removal, fantastic. And remember, these units are always boosted on treasure map moving forward. Well, at least hopefully they're going to continue to be boosted on treasure maps. So these characters are going to be useful in a lot more content. So as we said, the crewmate ability of this character is now going to be buffed, makes int and tandem slots beneficial to the entire crew. That is so good. Remember that Zoro also, you can farm him right now on Extra Island on one of the quests. Sanji, Zoro, Robin, and Brook are all farmable, so make sure to go ahead and do it, as these level limit breaks are fantastic. Now the next character is going to be Nami. Now looking at her base special, at level 2, removing 3 turns of bind and paralysis, and then changing adjacent slots into matching. So not a very amazing special, it's fine, but then you look at the level 150 or with level limit break 5, now you see that the level 2 special is going to allow you to remove 5 turns of paralysis and bind now, changing adjacent slots including block into matching, and then if you have Luffy as support on this unit or is on the crew, then you apply paralysis on all enemies for 1 turn, and you double your damage dealt against paralyzed enemies for 1 turn. So that's a fantastic update. Not only is the utility buffed, the orb change is buffed going through block slots, but then also if you've got Luffy on the crew in some capacity, then you're allowing you to get a 2 times conditional boost that self-procs. Just a fantastic update to this unit. Let's actually have a look and see if this unit got an update to her crewmate ability, maybe? No, so no crewmate ability update, but the Rumble special and the Rumble ability have been buffed, and look, that's fine and all, but you're not really using these characters in Rumble because they're still not that good. But still, this is fantastic. Great utility that can be used in a lot of teams, and also being able to provide a conditional boost is always nice. Usopp is the next one now, and Usopp with his base special is just a 2-turn delay and then 2-turn removal of special bind and locking your crew slots for 2 turns. So I'm really looking forward to this one at level 150. It still delays by 2 turns, 5-turn removal of special bind with a 2-turn orb lock, and if Luffy is on the crew or a support, boost the chain multiplier by 0.9 for 3 turns. This isn't as amazing, but still, 5-turn removal of special bind for a beginner for sure. This is going to be really nice to have. Special bind removers can be difficult to come by when you're just starting off the game, but this is nice, and not only that, you just get a free chain boost off of it as well. A 0.9 chain boost is pretty good. Definitely not the best you can get, but it's not a bad one, considering he also delays and does all block. He does a lot of really cool things. Does he receive anything else? His crewmate ability reduces special bind by 5 turns now, which makes sense, because I believe previously it was only like a 2-turn removal. Yeah, and he also does remove 5 turns of blindness still if you have a PSY captain, which is going to be really nice too. So, and it's nice too. Oh, I just forgot about that. He has fear resistance as well. Oh, that's so good. The fact that it's a fear resistant unit that deals with special bind as a free to play. Yeah, this unit is godly for beginners just starting out. It's a really nice addition. Sanji is the next one on the list, and one thing to note about Sanji, he does have double special launch, which is really good. The base special is changing adjacent slots into matching, and then provide a 2.5 chain lock for 2 turns. So that's fine, not a bad special. When you get him to level limit break 5, he changes adjacent slots through block into matching, and now his 2.5 chain lock is buffed to a 2.5 chain boundary for 2 turns. But then if Luffy is on the crew or as a support, removing 1 turn of damage nullification and 1 turn of barrier. So just big upgrades here, because especially when you're, again, new or returning, finding characters that can remove barrier or remove damage nullification is very hard to come by. And now you have this free unit that's able to do that. So you're able to have this really cool effect of orb change, chain boundary, and because he does have double special launch, you can actually remove 2 turns of barriers and damage nullification, which is super, super good. Does he actually have a crewmate change? Makes int and recovery slots matching for the crew. That's, again, just a really nice upgrade. So I think Sanji might be one of the better ones for sure. I'm really, really happy with that update. So Chopper is next, and the base special of Chopper isn't really that good. You get 50% damage reduction for 3 turns, 3000 heal for 3 turns, and that's it. So it's not really a good special. With level limit break though, he now, at level 2, is a 60% damage reduction for 3 turns, heal 10 times this character's recovery that can overheal, and then also do 4000 HP heal at the end of the turn for the next 3 turns. But additionally, he removes all forms of poison, he reduces burn and chain reduction also by 5 turns, but then if Luffy's on the crew or as a support, you get a 20% PSY resistance debuff to the enemy for 2 turns. So that's a really big update for this Chopper, but considering the base special was so bad, and now you have this special that can provide damage reduction, overhealing, healing end of turn, removing poison, which can be difficult when you're starting off the game finding poison removers, but also removing burn by 5 turns, that's a really big one, and then also just providing resistance down as well. So just across the board, Chopper's received some really nice buffs. Unfortunately, no crewmate buffs, but that's perfectly fine. That special is a really big upgrade for this unit. The next character we'll talk about is going to be Nico Robin. Remember that Nico Robin is one of the characters that you can farm for right now on Extra Island, so let's go ahead and have a look at what she does. This unit, at face value, is actually still pretty good, because she removes 3 turns of attack down and despair, and then also changes block and adjacent slots into matching. So her specials are still relatively used, because Robin has access to some of the best supports in the game. So at level limit break 5, her special removes 5 turns of despair and attack down, changing block and adjacent into matching, so that's pretty much the same. But now if you have Luffy as a support or on the crew, you now do 80% defense reduction for 3 turns and a 1.75 times conditional boost against defense down enemies for 3 turns. So a self-proccing defense down conditional boost that lasts for multiple turns is actually pretty nice. Probably not the biggest buff overall, but this is still a character that is going to see play, because removing these debuffs that are very common is nice, especially removing block slots, and then getting a conditional boost on top is just an added bonus, really. Did she receive any other buffs? No crewmate buffs, rumble ability buffs as per usual, but that special is a really nice upgrade for Nico Robin. Next is Franky, and Franky's base special removes defense up and rainbow shield damage reduction by 3 turns, and gives your side characters a 1.75 color affinity for 3 turns. Looking forward to this upgrade because it should be pretty good. Removing defense up and damage reduction by 5 turns now, and then if Luffy is on the crew or as a support, the color affinity will be 2.25 for 3 turns. Otherwise, you still get the 1.75 for 3 turns. So the buffs for this guy weren't major, just upping the number of the color affinity. And, you know, even if you can just use him to get color affinity as well, even when you're not utilizing a Luffy character. So that's at least a nice little change too. But the utility buff of removing defense and Rainbow Shield by 5, that's really nice for beginner players. And then finally, we have the Brook character. This character was actually pretty good because he does have double special launch, which is nice. Remember, this is one of the characters that you can currently farm for an extra island. His base special, 5,000 fixed damage to all enemies, and then removing threshold and resilience by 2. This character actually did see some play. And then we have a look at his level limit break kit. Now does 50,000 damage to all enemies, and then removes damage, threshold, and resilience by 5 turns. And if Luffy's on the crew or as a support, 1.5 times increased damage taken to all enemies. This character is really freaking good. The fact that you can double special launch to remove up to 10 turns of threshold, 10 turns of resilience, 100k fixed damage, but still would be useful in treasure map because he'll have his cooldown. You can use his special to wave clear twice, which is pretty good. Being able to inflict increased damage taken is incredible though. That's a really nice addition that, you know, this batch obviously didn't get access to. So when you take a look at it at face value, this character, like all this batch now gets access to, you know, increased damage taken, resistance down, bigger color affinity, bigger orb boost, chain boundary instead of chain lock, conditional boosts on multiple facets. You've got these really good utility across the board. Just everything about this batch is just absolutely phenomenal. So these are some of the characters, obviously, that you can farm for right now on Extra Island. Zoro, Sanji, Robin, Brook. But you can also purchase the rest of these characters currently from the Pirate King Adventures game mode, which is what this whole new feature is for. You can get these green tickets, I think they're titled Adventure tickets, just by playing this new game mode, and you can go to the character selection screen and actually purchase copies of each of these units. For example, a character such as Franky, you cannot actually farm for, but if you go over to here, you can spend 10 tickets to purchase 1 copy of Franky. Now remember, you do need 9 copies to get them to level limit break 5. So a total of 90 tickets to get it. It is expensive, and well, technically we don't actually know how expensive that's going to be because we don't know the economy of this game mode and how many tickets will actually accumulate over time. But just keep it in the back of your mind, that's what you're going to have to do. Anyways, that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the brand new size Straw Hat level limit breaks down below in the comment section. If you guys did enjoy it though, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.